Hi everyone, thank you so much for watching, and if you're new here, my name's Holly. So the other day I thought to myself, I really want to test one brand and do like a full face makeup review of it. So the brand that I chose, obviously from the title, is E.L.F. I have used some of their products before, but I haven't used kind of like a big range of their products. So I thought, I'm gonna go into Superdrug and spend lots of money. My bad manners hates me. If any of you haven't heard of the cosmetic range called E.L.F, you should definitely check them out because stuff that I have tried in the past are really good. I don't know if things are like hit and miss for their whole range, as I haven't tried everything before, but they are quite affordable as well, which is always good. So the total price came to £48, 5p because of the bag. I managed to get pretty much everything apart from a couple of things. And to be honest, the other day I did spend like £30 on my Laura Mercier powder, so £48 for a full face of makeup, that's actually quite good. Okay, so I had to get a primer. Lately I haven't been using any primer, to be honest, but I have seen this before and I was quite intrigued. I got the Prep and Blur stick in sheer and it looks like this. Going to open it up. So apparently it's supposed to blur the look of imperfections and minimize the appearance of pores while priming the skin. This silicone-free primer stick blurs the look of pores, fine lines and imperfections while providing a smooth base for makeup application. The universal colour works on all skin tones and can be used alone for a naturally soft focused look. Infused with witch hazel to help absorb excess oil. I do struggle with my pores. I do get really quite pory around here, so I should really use a blurring stick, I suppose. This is what it looks like out of the packaging. So it's a rounded kind of cylinder with a lid. I think the packaging is quite nice actually for E.L.F. So it twists through the bottom and kind of like a giant lipstick. As you can see, the colour's a little bit yellowy. I don't know if it's going to make a difference on your skin. I do get quite red around my cheeks and my nose, so maybe it will help. It has no scent to it, which I like. Right, so I'm going to apply this on my cheeks. This is weird. Feels nice and smooth. The one thing I worry about with pore refining primers is they're not very tacky. I like a bit of tackiness just to help my foundation stick. It's a good sign. It doesn't make me look like Bart Simpson, so the yellows, I don't know, it's kind of just more transparent really. I've just had a little look close up and it feels like my pores are filled in, so it's a bit more kind of a blurred effect, which is what it says it does. It's so hard to tell with primers, to be honest, but it feels nice, like it feels smoother, and it's like a tiny little bit tacky, so I'll be intrigued to see if my makeup stays on. Before I apply my foundation, I'm going to use this E.L.F. Instant Lift Brow Pencil. So it looks like this. I always find it weird when things come in like cardboard packaging. I don't know. I'd rather it just come on its own, like with just the product. I don't know why. I just feel like it's really strange when it comes in a... I don't know, is that just me? The shade I got, it looks like I got the shade black, but it's actually dark brown. My eyebrows are naturally quite dark, so I always tend to go for dark browns because I find that medium browns are a bit too warm for me. It comes with a spoolie on one side and then the applicator on this side, and you just twist it up. Some of you who have watched my previous videos know that I'm obsessed with the Primark Skinny Brow Pencil. They've actually renamed it, which I don't know why. It's called the Brow Sketch now. But I love it because it's got the spoolie on one side and then the applicator's nice and skinny, because I don't really tend to get on very well with like thicker ones, if that makes sense. So just looking at the both, this one's a lot thicker from E.L.F, but fingers crossed. So I'm going to brush up my brow hairs, which is what I always do. And then I'm going to start with outlining my brows first. I'm finding this a little bit harder, but I'm going to give it a fair chance because especially eyebrow products, sometimes when you change over, it takes a while to get used to it. So I'm going to fill in the gaps by doing little hair strokes. So straight away I can tell the formula is slightly different to the Primark one. I feel like it's very pigmented and you really don't have to press hard. I do really like the spoolie actually, because it's slightly finer, so I feel like it gets all your hairs. The only thing I will say with this is it doesn't feel as precise. I like doing kind of small hair strokes, which is why I find it harder with a bigger applicator. But I love the spoolie of it, and the actual product itself isn't bad at all. So I feel like I look like Borat. Okay, this is my issue with buying eyebrow pencils that aren't really thin, because I feel like when you first open it, it's got a nice point, and then once you've done one eyebrow, your other eyebrow, it just ends up blocky. So I feel like I've basically got a brown crayon and gone like this, which would have saved me time. I really don't understand how people use any eyebrow pencils that aren't really thin. Like, if you can do that, then please teach me, because I'm just really bad. Like, I can't get it precise. It's fine because I'm going to carve out my eyebrows and I do that anyway, but I don't know if you guys can see, but it kind of looks a bit crayony. This next product I actually got probably a month and a half ago because I saw it came out and it was brand new. It's the E.L.F 16 Hour Camo Concealer. And it looks like this in the packaging. I've only used this once, maybe twice, but I can't remember if I really liked it, because I think it was the same time I got my Revolution one, which I always love so much right now. So I didn't really give this one a fair chance. This is in the shade Medium Sand, and before I got this one as well, not that long ago, you can tell I was going on a bit of a concealer binge. It really reminded me of the Jouer concealer. Now I haven't really got on very well with this one because I find it gives me such bad creases. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of a bit of a dupe, and I compared them both on the back of my hand a few weeks ago and they're quite similar in consistency. So I don't know, maybe I should do a testing video comparing the two. If you guys want to see that, then let me know in the comment section below. This one is more high end and this one obviously, I think it's like £5, so it's a bit cheaper. So I want to use this to carve out my eyebrows. And it comes with a nice thick applicator which picks up plenty of product. I'm just going to put some underneath my eyebrow. I'm going to use that to carve them out, and as well use it as an eyeshadow base. I'm going to get my brush. Hopefully we can fix these brows. I don't know if this is a bit too yellow for me. So with this concealer, as you can see, it's really high coverage. This shade is probably a bit too yellow for me, but we'll make it work. But yeah, the one thing I will say is it does feel really thick, but once you start kind of moving the product around, it feels a lot thinner and then it kind of dries down a bit thick again. So I don't know if that's a good thing, but the coverage is really nice and it is quite easy to move around and carve your eyebrows out, definitely. So it says it's supposed to be full coverage, and I'd definitely say it's full coverage for me anyway. I mean, if this was any more full coverage, I don't even think I'd look like I have an eyelid. So I've just had a brainwave, and I think I remember why I never picked this back up again. So I don't know if you guys can see, but it just looks a little bit patchy, and some places it's separated as well. But I'm not too sure if it does that on the skin, because obviously it's not an eyeshadow base, so maybe that's the reason. But again, I have used concealers in the past on my eyelids that don't do that. So fingers crossed it works better on the face. I can't quite remember. I just remembered I didn't tell you the prices. So the first product I used was the Blur Stick. This was £9. So this was actually the most expensive product. The E.L.F brow pencil that I used, that was £3. So very affordable. And then, like I said before, the E.L.F concealer, this was £5. So now for foundation, I picked up the Flawless Finish foundation. I really find it hard to say that. And it looks like this. And the shade that I got was Buff. Really bad at matching up my foundation colour. It says it's cruelty-free, light with peachy undertones. So that's the shade Buff. This was £7.50. So it's actually cheaper than the primer. This foundation packaging is actually quite impressive because it's really weighty and it's glass and it feels like high-end packaging. So hopefully the foundation is. So the lid comes off and it comes with a pump, which I love. I'm just gonna put some on the back of my hand. So it's not too crazy thick, but it's not too liquidy. It's kind of in between. And I think I'm going to use a beauty blender on one side and then a brush on the other. I'm just going to press that around a little bit. I just washed my sponge, so I don't know if it's the foundation that smells nice or my sponge. Okay, I don't think the foundation has a scent either, which is quite good. So I'm just bouncing that foundation in. I'm going to start off with a light layer and then see how well it builds up. I mean, this might not look like a light layer to you guys, but it is for me. So it's blending out quite nicely. There's no patchy bits. I feel like my eyelids are going yellower. Oh my lord. Help me guys. This is not a good look so far. Note to self, don't use that concealer on your eyelids, Hollie, because your eyelids look yellow. Brilliant. So it's definitely covered a little bit. It looks a little bit yellowy, but I don't know if it's the light. We've kind of got like a theme going on in this video. Peachy undertones. What is this supposed to do? It doesn't actually say. Okay, so this foundation is supposed to be oil-free and it has a satin finish. So it definitely feels like it's got kind of a nice glow to it. It's not too matte, and I don't know, the coverage isn't crazy. You can definitely tell it's cancelled out some of my redness. I did put like a really light layer on top, so, and I never do that. So I'm just going to go in with another layer. Does anyone love it when they actually make an effort to wet their beauty blender? So the second layer is definitely a lot better and it builds up really nicely. It hasn't kind of curdled. I feel like foundation's curdle, like that's the only way I can explain. So I feel like that's built up really nicely. Like you can still see some little bits in there, kind of something going on in there. But that's just my skin, I think, to be honest, which is awkward, but that's what concealer's for. So yeah, I really like how that built up actually. It doesn't feel too dry. It's still kind of got a glow to it. The shade is a little bit yellow, but we can bronze it up and highlight it, that's fine. Okay, I'm gonna try the other side and use a brush this time. And the brush I'm gonna use is the PC04 brush by Peaches and Cream. This is my favorite ever foundation brush. I actually never used to use brushes for my foundation. Oh my God, okay. I think I've applied too much. Oh no, I'm gonna like Bart Simpson. Okay, so, well, at least I'm not gonna look red at all, because basically put banana on my face. This shade should be called banana, I'm not being funny. So a little bit of product definitely goes a longer way with a brush, which is normally the case because it doesn't soak up the product as much as a beauty blender. That's applied really quick with a brush actually. I have no idea if it's the foundation that smells nice or just my like brush and beauty blender. That is so frustrating, I can't tell. So both the beauty blender and the brush applied really nice to this foundation. I think I slightly prefer the beauty blender just because it's more airbrushed on my head. Yeah, but not really much difference. Yeah, I can't really tell much difference. So it applies really nicely. With the brush, it actually applied really quick. So if you're in a rush, maybe use the brush. That was really cringe. Now for the next bit, I'm going to highlight my face with more yellow. So please don't oxidize, please don't oxidize, please don't oxidize. Just gonna apply that under. Put it down the side of my nose. This is so thick, like I love it, but my face doesn't love it. I'm just gonna take my beauty blender and press that product in. I definitely feel like this oxidizes because compared to my under eye and the eyelid, like my eyelid's starting to look a bit brown. I really don't know what to do with that eyelid situation. I'm actually really liking how this is looking on my skin. I really don't want it to oxidize to this colour because that is not going to look good. Normally I do the Holliee.b trick where you leave your concealer on your nose to dry down, but I mean this is really thick, so. Okay, so my eyelid situation is not good. Like, I'm really hoping you guys can see this. I'm gonna wipe that off. I can't be dealing with that. I wanna give this look a fair chance. One thing I did struggle to find was an eyeshadow palette. There were 2 eyeshadow palettes, but I'm just gonna be honest with you guys, they were £10 and I know that's really cheap, but I just wasn't really feeling them, so I thought I'll get something different. This is the No Budge Shadow Stick in the shade Bronze Metal. So it looks like this. The packaging itself actually looks really cool. I think they've done really well with this. And it comes with a lid. Now I think I read that you can sharpen this. So it twists up. It's really nice and metallic-y. And I'm pretty sure there's, oh, so if you pull the bottom off, comes with a little sharpener. With this, I'm just gonna place it all over my lid. It says it dries down and it's a no budge eyeshadow. This no budge creamy metallic eyeshadow has a long lasting formula that helps prevent budging, smearing and creasing. Twist up for easy glide on use or use the sharpener in the base to create a refined tip to use as an eyeliner. So you can use it as an eyeliner or an eyeshadow. It does feel really nice and creamy. I wonder how well it will dry down. The colour is a very, very cool brown, so I wouldn't really say it's, I don't know, it kind of feels a bit grey-y. I think I'm going to use my Morphe blending brush and just go right in the crease and blend that out. That blends out really nice actually, I'm quite impressed. I actually don't think this blended out too bad, like, it only took me a couple minutes and it looks like kind of a smoky look. So yeah, quite impressed. The next thing I got was eyeliner. I thought I'd try out a new eyeliner because I always use the same one. This is kind of in the same packaging as the eyebrow pencil. So this is supposed to be waterproof and it's in the shade black, and I think I'm gonna do a little wing with this. Ooh, I thought it'd be like a fatter. I'm actually quite, so far so good. So I was supposed to do just a little wing, but I kind of ended up doing bigger wings, which is fine. The pen's actually not too bad. It was £3, so very affordable again. I thought the black looks nice and black. It's not shiny, it's nice and matte. The tip itself is nice and pointy, so it's quite precise. The product doesn't blend as easily as ones that I've tried from NYX or the Maybelline one that I use, but it's actually a lot better than what I thought it would be. So yeah, I would definitely pick this up if, you know, I needed an eyeliner and was on a budget, and yeah, so no complaints about this. Next, I'm going to use their mascara. They did have quite a few different mascaras. This one is their 3-in-1 Very Black Mascara, and it looks like this. It's supposed to help lengthen, define, and volumize lashes. Unique silicone brush has precision bristles to coat lashes for a dramatic look. I'm going to open this bad boy up. This was £4.50, so still really affordable, and the packaging is quite cute as well, nice and simple. The stopper in it's really good, so there's no clumps on it, and it's kind of got like a dome on the end, so I'm guessing that's easier to get right in the corners and things. I have really tiny lashes, so it's probably impossible for you guys to see, but it's actually not bad. I quite like it. I think the little ball thing is kind of handy for the corners, but I think it stops you using this bit to get like right in there. But I definitely think it's quite a nice mascara. Like, it doesn't go clumpy or anything. I like the applicator on it. And yeah, I'll definitely use this again. So now I'm going to set my face a little bit. I didn't find any loose powder, I only saw some pressed ones, and I really wanted a loose powder to try. So I'm just going to use my Laura Mercier translucent powder. Put a little bit in my lid. I'm just going to press this under my eyes and in any other places that I want to lock into place. Now I'm going to take that eyeshadow pencil again and just run that underneath my lower lash line. And again, I'm just going to buff out the edges with that blending brush from earlier. I'm going to place that mascara on my bottom lashes. So I'm going to apply some blush and bronzer. So this is called the Matte Contouring Blush and Bronzing Powder in the shade Fiji. So it's a duo set. The packaging looks like this. Again, really nice. I'm really impressed with their packaging, to be fair. So it's got a little mirror with it, and then the plastic film thingy-majiggy. You've got your bronzer and then your blusher, and the mirror is very cute and handy. I'm just going to tap into that bronze shade. I thought this bronzer would be really hard for me to like because I've been using the Fenty Beauty bronzer lately and been loving it. It's not too crazy pigmented, so you can build it up nicely. And the tone's really nice. It's not too like ashy or kind of grey looking. I'm starting to look a little bit more human now, so thank the Lord. And dip into the other shade here and just apply that on the apples of my cheeks. Oh, this is so cute, this shade. I was not expecting that blush to be so nice. So yeah, I'm really happy with that. I think this might be my favourite product of the whole range. Now my face looks a little bit more normal and I've got a bit more colour to it. I'm going to go in with some highlighter, obviously. And this is the Jelly Highlighter in the shade Cloud. I actually can't get the thing out. Oh. It comes in a little pot like this. So you just screw off the top. When I actually tested, I can't deal with that. It just doesn't look right. Oh, like for me to test this out in the shop was really hard because I was literally like this. It just makes me feel funny, but I tried it and it looked really nice, so. I'm just gonna dip my finger in the jelly. Whoa. Okay, I need to blend that out. I did a rookie mistake. This is my fault. I put powder on before putting this on. Whenever you put something wet on top of a powder, it just never blends out. I'm gonna put a little bit on my nose, on my lips. When you're putting on a jelly highlighter, it is a wet product, so don't do what I did and put it on after powder because it won't blend and look like this. But the actual highlighter itself is really nice, and when I put it on my hand, let me show you, it blends really nicely. So yeah, I don't know why I'm telling you guys that because you're probably not stupid like me. The last thing that I got was this Illuminating Mist and Set in the shade Clear. This fine mist creates a natural looking glow with ultra fine particles for an illuminating effect infused with vitamin A, C, E and green tea to help hydrate, nourish and brighten for radiant looking skin. The lightweight formula improves makeup wearability and prevents colour from running or fading. Oh, this looks really cute actually. So you get 60 ml in this, so it's quite small. And I'm just gonna spray it all over. Ooh, that is powerful. Is it me or has this actually worked? This was £5 and yeah, I really like it. I actually feel like this has brought back a bit of life to my face, so yeah. Normally I use the iconic one, which is this one, which I mean is my ultimate favourite. But I wasn't expecting this one to make such a difference. So I love to use setting sprays just because, well, especially if they're dewy ones, because I like a dewy look. I don't really like a matte look. So if you're having to use powders and things like that, it just kind of brings the life back to your skin. So I definitely feel like this one's done that, which is good. Lips was another product that I didn't really find anything for. All I saw was some glosses that weren't really my kind of thing. They just had like kind of bits of sparkle. But yeah, so I'm going to use my ultimate favourite, obviously, by H&B Cosmetics. The first one I'm using is in the shade Obsessed, which is the Matte Liquid Lipstick by Holliee.b. On top of that, I'm going to use my H&B Cosmetics lip gloss in the shade Feeling Myself. And this is literally the best nude combo. I I actually feel like I'm running out of this. For me to actually run out of a lip product is a big deal because I end up buying so many different ones, and I like alternate a lot normally, but I mean, this is my favourite, so. Okay, so we got there in the end. There are a few little bumps in the road, but I don't think this is too bad. I definitely feel like we pulled out the bag, so thank you for bearing with. It's really strange for me to do a video like this because I'm so used to using products that I know actually work. So to try something where it's kind of testing and you have some fails, it's actually quite fun, but yeah, I don't know. Let me know if you guys like it, or I don't know. But yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and what doesn't work for me might work for you, but I hope this has kind of helped you guys to know what kind of products you'd want to buy if you're interested in buying anything from E.L.F. But yeah, make sure you comment down below if you've got any suggestions, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye everyone.